Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 4, and we're going to continue with lowering our budget. In the previous episode, I didn't realize that my microphone wasn't being recognized by OBS, so I apologize for that episode. Um, so last episode we managed to eliminate the budgetary deficit. Um, we're only 151 billion over, so we're not completely out of the woods yet because 151 billion isn't that much at all. So decided we're going to privatize the oil industry completely. So we already privatized the conventional oil. So we're going to privatize the non-conventional oil, which would be your shale oil, and that should bring us about 218 billion. What I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to bring in more money so that we're not kind of seesawing with going into a deficit. I want to get us at a. I just want to get us higher comfortably so we can do more things and do more projects. So let's see if this is going to pass. I'm sure it will. All right. So that will. So we're just going to go ahead and try to pass that. And let's try to see what else we can do. Um, in fact, I want to see what exactly are we doing as far as oil is concerned. So let's look at our production and consumption. Wow. So we really have to produce more oil to be able to meet the demand. And yeah, this just isn't cutting it. I mean, our production is going up, but it's not enough. Um, we could purchase more oil from, let's see, let's look at the price. And we're enemies with Iran. They're the cheapest ones. I mean, Nigeria, but they don't really produce that much. Saudi Arabia, they produce more. We're going to try Iraq because their production is going up also. So hopefully this doesn't completely destroy our gains. So let's meet with the leader of Iraq. And I'm left with no choice but to increase taxes as well. Let's see here. Because our public debt only went down by close to 300, which isn't is nothing compared to 21 trillion. So let's see. I'm gonna raise the carbon tax. Let's see if that's gonna pass. How do they feel about it? Okay, that's good. 36 billion. So we are going to call this the Green Environment Act. And I think I did this before, so we're going to name it 1A. I could be wrong, but I believe I did the same name, so we're going to name it 1A. And highway tolls. Let's see if we can get away with this also. Yeah, that's going to pass. So I'm going to do that. Let's see, revenue. I'm going to raise industrial pollution tax. So if we can get that to, let's see. Let's just see if this is going to pass. I'm surprised it is. Do I want to raise that? Nah, I don't want to be too greedy. And so I'm going to limit lowering the income tax. Because while that's good for purchasing power in the long run, it means I'm going to have to do that much more to try to raise the money. So what I've decided to do is to lower the price on produce, so people are getting more for their dollar. So even though they're going to be paying more taxes on everything, the price of food is going down. So hopefully that should balance out everything. I could be wrong, but there's only one way to find out. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let's just see. Overall, okay, so it's more popular with the Democrats than it is with my own party, but that's fine. And let's just see. We'll see. I don't want to raise too many taxes at once, so that's going to pass, but the people don't like it. So I'm going to skip out on that. Oh, great demonstration. All right, so let's bring in police reinforcements. And let's just try to. Alright, so I'm gonna try to avoid calling in the military, but there's no promises there. And I'm gonna call in our police, and they can throw tear gas there. So these guys. I'm gonna throw tear gas there. Let's call this guy here. Alright, so let's see how this is going to play out. So we're going to take out these guys there. We're going to take out these guys from behind. Dude, our police are getting decimated here. This isn't good. Coming back for more, huh? Alright, surprisingly, we took care of that. We lost a lot of police in the process.
We have subdued the rebel movement. There's no more unrest.
But at least we don't have the public against us for sending in the military, which I was trying to avoid doing. Alright. And I'm still not doing anything with the space program. Okay.
Although your economy is among the healthy.
Alright, so who is it that I missed?
The demonstrators intend to send a power.
Alright, well. And let's see, I'm gonna build more oil wells. And we're gonna have to go with shale for now. Okay, so that's very good. I'm going to try to do about 5 or 10. And what I'm hoping is in the long run, this is going to balance everything out. So I'm not 100%, so again, there's only one way to find out, and if my economy plummets, then I know this wasn't the wisest of choices. Alright, so we have 5. I want to go with... I want to try with 10. So we have 4 more. 3 more. So I really want to meet my country's own demands and not have to import oil. Even though I'm going to try to steer away from oil in the long run, but I just want to balance out my economy first. Okay, so let's see who we can talk to here. Okay, that's done and over with. Women's rights is behind this. Okay, now we're going to meet with Iraq. Let's try to butter
No
them up.
thanks. My ulcer can't take it.
Okay.
And you're right. It is the most beautiful country in the world. Next time, come and visit my summer residence. I'll show you the countryside.
And let's see. We're going to purchase. Let me see. Actually, how much copper? Man, they don't really produce much copper at all. Let's see. Fuel. They produce a lot of fuel. But they use over half. They use 75% roughly. Let me just stick with oil. Oh yeah, they produce a ton of it. So that's going to be 48 billion. Now you might as well round that off. That's going to be about 49 billion. I want to make that only 4 years because I think within 4 years, if I get reelected on here, I think in 4 years I can get us to producing enough oil. Or at least meet about 80 to 90% of our demand. This is going to help with growth. I'm just going to go ahead and take the chance. And let's tell them about
Our country is confronted with many subversive undercurrents, so you'll understand why we are forced to apply an appropriate coercive policy. However, your request is not ridiculous and will not be ignored because, I must admit, it fits into the more lenient program we have been waiting to incorporate for some time.
Let's see about our military alliance. Let's see if we can get a non-aggression. Nah, that's not going to work. Let me try something different. So let's see if... No. We don't have a good enough relationship with them to build a military alliance, so that's fine. Let's see if we can sell them something. Let's see. Automobile. Nah, we don't produce enough. Bottled water. I'm surprised. We actually sell. Actually produce more than we consume. But there's a big price gap, so that's not going to work. And that's not a. So the downside to using the United States in this game is U.S. doesn't really produce anything. We basically, as the U.S. imports everything to make their products, so makes it that much difficult when you're trying to balance out everything. Let's see, fuel cell batteries produce more. Let's see, there's a big price gap, and they don't really use too much. Let's see, milk. Nah, we don't produce enough of that. So, because we don't produce enough oil, our plastic industry doesn't produce enough. Sugar beets, I'm surprised. You know what? Sugar beets, I'm not going to be real particular on that. We could take a hit on that. And this is going to be to increase our relations with Iraq. So I'm going to leave it open so we can negotiate on it. Besides, it's only going to be at like 132 million or less. So 58, nah, I don't think so. Wow, they just canceled the whole thing altogether. Oh well, that's fine. I'm not going to force it.
Our governmental cell informs me that it has had the opportunity to approach this potential informer. According to my calculations, using transactional analysis, Chicago score naturally, the team has at most a 63.8% chance of making a strategic gain in its position by focusing on this target and only on this target. Do you want us to try the approach?
Sure. Okay, we took out 7 agents in Turkey. That's good. Even though they're a NATO ally. Let's see. Again, I'm not really worried about the space program. Okay. So let's just see what else we can do here. Let's see.
You have negotiated a splendid contract that will undoubtedly help improve our economy. Again, well done.
Okay, so that was a good contract. So let's take a look at the benefits of that contract we just did. All right, so that was good and helps supply a large portion of what we need, so that's good. Let's see. All right, so our industry. So that's privatized. That's going to cost $5 billion. Let's see. Missile launchers. That's the main thing. Yeah, $1 billion, definitely. We're just going to go ahead and nationalize that. Because we're spying on China. So I believe at some point we're going to gain the technology to making level 4 missiles, which is I can't think of the name of it now. Oh, intercontinental ballistic missiles. So ICBMs. So that's going to strengthen our military by a great deal. And what that means too is with the missile launcher, that type of missile launcher, we don't have to send the missile launcher over to a few miles away from the target. We can actually fire it from the United States. So that's why that's such a big deal.
The state must be able to commit itself to support activities at the confluence of strategic and economic imperatives, because it is our duty to ensure access to resources and services that every citizen is naturally entitled to. My project of nationalization will be presented without delay.
Okay, Japan is under an earthquake. They have a lot of casualties. So we're going to send 2 million. We don't want to get too carried away with what we give them.
The bill has been voted on and the law has been passed.
After privatizing this sector, it will be hard to say right away whether we will come out on top financially. Selling our shares was definitely a success and will provide money up front, but on the other hand, this was a very dynamic sector that let us bring in substantial profits each year. Hindsight will, of course, be 2020.
Okay. Alright, so okay, we can get that off the screen. So alright, so that actually did us some good there. Let's see, we're up by roughly about 300 billion. That's still not high enough.
The vote was held and the reform was adopted.
Okay, the Green Environment Act went through. These guys in this motor racing union, they're going to be a pain. It's only 653 demonstrators. So let's check our debt. Okay, so our budget excess is 435 billion. And wow. Our surplus is almost 1 trillion, which is excellent. So it's 996 billion that we're going to have as a surplus. So we're going to try to maintain that as best we can. Yeah, of course it's going to go down. Which is the reason why I wanted to get more than 151 billion over the budget excess, because I already know that's going to go down.
For the moment, we have the sit-in under control to prevent it from spreading. But do you wish for us to intervene to disperse this demonstration by force?
635 people. I'm going to take my chance and just let it fizzle out on its own.
Our agents that have infiltrated this organization confirm their window of opportunity. It goes without saying that the operation is risky, but if successful, the short and long-term benefits...
Yeah, we could take the chance of dismantling them. Alright, not interested in the space program at all. Okay, let's see what else we can do. So the other thing I wanted to do was... wanted to lower the prices on our produce. So 5%, that's pretty good. Let's do this as a reform, and we're going to call this the Fair Produce Pricing Act. let's pause it for right now. See, we're still going up. So it was just at 1.48 and it's now at 1.58. So we're doing well. Alright, so we have to do something with the internet. I'll see what I can do.
The bill has been voted on and the law has been passed.
Our infiltrated agent was spotted and murdered. The terrorist discovered that he worked for us and sent us his head by mail. It is even uglier than seeing a recessive curd on a Lloyd scale. No matter what, the package implies an extremely clear threat against our country. We must prepare countermeasures.
Okay. So we're going to keep this technology for ourselves. We're going to keep this for ourselves. And we're going to keep that for ourselves. Let me continue with lowering our produce. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to reduce everything. And I don't want to get too significant with how much I lower everything by. Let's see, should we... Nah. And I don't know if that was a good idea or not anyway. Just encourage more drunks. Okay, so coffee. That should help bring up everything. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a 5% drop. It's better than nothing. And let's see. Foul. Mm. 1%. Nah. So potatoes. Let's see. And that's a little more expensive and more than I want to actually spend. Oh. So we're just going to do 3. Nah. I'm going to just do 2% with that for wine. Nah, you know what? I'm not going to do that either. And it won't even let me do that for wood. So our sugar beets. No, it won't let me, I'm not sure why it won't let me on certain things. So oranges. So 5% on oranges, that should be good too. And I'm done with that. So that should be good for purchasing power. So people don't like the fact that we're spending money, but they like the low price and the purchasing power.
I'll give you a quick update on the sit-in. The demonstrators are still there. The situation is still slowly worsening.
Okay. We're going to have no choice. So, okay. Going to boost our education or increase our research in matter sciences. I think I'm going to do that. This country will benefit more to some degree. And the beginning of the next quarter, which will be in July, I'll hire more teachers. And let's see. So I want to look at a few other things here. So aluminum, we don't produce that much of. So let's see. Alright, so China produces the most, but China's our enemy. Russia looks like has, let's go by price here. It's interesting how the countries that don't produce anything have the lowest, like, what's even the point? Alright, so let's just go by production. Wow. We are so below, it's not even funny. So, let's see. Now, I think Guinea can supply. Now, Guinea produces enough, but it's not showing up on this. So, I'm not sure if that's a glitch by Eversim or I don't know. But we can't meet with Guinea, but we can do contracts with them. When it's still too early, I really don't. Nah, I'm gonna hold off with that. I don't want to spend too much because we're doing well right now, and I want us to continue. See, now this was at 996 billion. It's now down to 843, and we still roughly have about a month and 5 days left until the next quarter. But this has gone up. We're now at 495 billion over, which is good. So let's invest in dilapidated housing. We're not going to spend too much. 343 million. Yeah, we can do that. And so with taxation, let's see. So we're gonna, so let's see with media. Um, All right, so this is already at 89%. So if we do another 2, that's 4 billion, and that's going to open up more opportunities. So we're going to take the chance with that.
Ahem. Scientific rigor has proved its superiority over doctrinal barbarity. A simulation program based on Merring's models, the application of transactional analysis to ambush situations, a pyrotechnical approach to interpersonal dynamics in combat situations. As you can see, nothing is left to chance, which is why this operation was successful in eradicating the terrorist organization.
Okay. And more about the space program. Not interested. Okay. Let's tackle healthcare. So that's 25 billion, and if I invest that the right way, so that's 13 billion. If I do this for maternity leave, it gives us another 3.4 billion. Let's see, accidents? No, I'm not willing to spend that much. So let's keep it at that. So that's 3.4 billion. We're going to need more workers. So we hire 10,000 more. Want to be kind of moderate. All right, so let's see, my budget excess went down because of that.
Your commitment to defending family values is a model for the whole of humanity. You are setting yourself up today as a herald for the civilization of tomorrow.
Okay. Dan congratulated me on taking out the terrorists, even though we're enemies. So, okay.
Our scientific cell infiltrated an important research center.
Okay, this is what I've been
According
waiting
to
for.
the information theory, we are therefore potentially able to obtain industrial secrets that, according to a quick projection, would attain the properly astounding index of 4 on the ladder of Angstrom. That is to say, at least a major discovery. It is obvious that to objectify this virtuality, our agents should concentrate exclusively on this target. Do you want to confirm this option?
Yes. That should give us the intercontinental ballistic missiles, which is a level 4 missile. So then once we get that, we should be able to produce that ourselves. So let's see, yeah, because it's only China and Russia that has them. So we'll boost our military capability. Let's see. I think that's glitching out. So I'm gonna hold off with that. And let's take a look at our deficit. Alright, so it was at 495 billion, is now down to 468. So I knew it was going to go down, and we have a little less than a month left. So we need to pass something to bring in more revenue. So we're going to do tax on financial transactions. That should bring in 91 billion. Let's see how the people feel about it. They like it. We're going to go with it. And so that brings us up to 1.82. And tax on the internet. People don't like that. So, how about an audio-visual tax? Yeah, people don't like that either. Oh, I know how to bring in more money. So what we're going to do is authorize referendums at a national level. And from that, I'm going to let the people decide whether to legalize marijuana. And if they do, then we can go to taxes. And when we legalize it, then we can put a tax on it. And that's going to bring in more revenue. So,
we now have an electoral map divided into regions. This could come in very useful if you decide to run in local communication campaigns and pursue a regional development policy. This is, of course, all part of optimizing results ahead of the next elections.
Our governmental cell informs me that it has had the opportunity to approach this potential informer. According to my calculations, using...
Go ahead. Yeah, okay. Alright. So let's look at my cabinet here. We can... Okay, that boosted his rating. Education is the only... Okay, health is at 100. Employment, agriculture. So, foreign affairs... Wow, housing is good. Defense and justice, homeland. Okay, so let's take a look at the paper here. Okay, so our Fair Produce Pricing Act went through.
The vote was held and the reform was adopted.
And let's take a look at this. So there's one thing I want to check.
Our governmental cell informs me that it has had the opportunity to approach this.
Okay, go ahead and approach them. So our plastic industry. So, who produces the most? It's probably China once again. Yeah, of course. But they don't use that much. And we need to increase by another 11. Is this percent? Yeah, by 11%. Japan. Basically, the oil, coal, chemical industry, and corn. All right, so I think I'm gonna make this the end of episode 4. Um, in episode 5, we should probably have the technology to build better missiles. So we're gonna do that. I'm probably gonna nationalize making drones and the rest of the military equipment. So let's see how. Yeah, that's 10 billion. So we're basically gonna kind of expand our military and see. The unemployment rate is going up, so we're going to have to try to figure out something to bring that down. But in the meantime, thank you for viewing this. Please give me likes, give me some feedback as to how you like this series, and I will catch you later. Thank you.